Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my second episode as second engineer, which is my 20th episode overall. And if you take a look around the room, not much has changed. I still got the laundry on the couch, thanks to my laziness, and got my microwave set up and my desk and my tools. Not much has changed, and don't have any real other updates. So how about we jump into this week's lottery ticket? Maybe we'll have a little bit more luck and get a winner to start out this week. We're going to be doing ticket 14 and 15. I'm sorry. We have 14 weeks to go until I'm back on vacation, so it's still a little bit off, a little ways off, but it's actually not that bad. It will, if I can get the camera stable, it'll actually go pretty quick. Hang on a second. There we go. Camera doesn't want to cooperate this week either. Had some technical difficulties last week, but so yeah, we're doing ticket number 15, and we got 14 weeks to go, and time goes by pretty quick. It'll probably be next week before I know it. And next week is also my niece's birthday, Olivia. It'll be her first birthday, and we'll do 2 lottery tickets. One will be for her, and one will be for the video that week. So as usual, we'll go ahead and start with the bonus and see if we get anything to start with. Well, nothing up here, but later in the video I'm going to be showing some special or unique and interesting wins that I've had on lottery tickets, and some of them are bonuses, and in fact I have more than I thought I did. So I'm going to have to divide it up into 2 videos, because otherwise I'd be here all night, and we are getting underway pretty soon, and I'm going to have to report to the engine room at midnight for duty. Alright, so there are our numbers. 7 and 9. That's 79 for my football number in high school. That's a little random fact. So let's see. 5, 57, we got a 47. 69, nope, no 60s. Bump and uglies, we had a 43 and a 23. Funny how that works. You always get teaser numbers like that. And then, is that what I think it is? Alright, got a win, and it looks like a $10. So I guess there will be another number here somewhere, because we got to win at least a minimum of 30, but at least we got to win. So we're off to a good start this week. So let's see where we can find at least 2 more of those numbers. No 60s. 55, no. 6, not quite. 56, no. 2, no. 64. When you see a prize like that, I'm probably going to get 2 more $10 wins for a total of 30, but you never know. There could be, there's 11. There could be 5 here for a nice $50 win, so there's another 10. I have seen tickets where there are 10 of them, and for $10 each for a $100 win, so at least there's that. Oh, another 11. How about that? 2 11s. So there's our $30. So we hit our minimum prize. It'd be great if we could win some more. So let's see. 29. We have just a 9. 5. No. We had 4, 7, 9. We have 5 and 6. Oh hey. We got a win symbol. Let's see how much this one is. $10. So I think $40 is a tier prize. So we made it into a profit margin on this ticket. Let's see if we can win some more. 48. Oh, we had a 58. 15 all the way to 16, almost there. See if we can get one more for a cool 50. 59, no. 54. 37, no. 30. 63, 43 to 23. 65. Well, we did win on the 23. So this was good. 52. 35. 27. We got a 47 and a 7. Let's see if this is a $10 one. It says 50, and yeah, sure enough, it's not a win. So 90 isn't a tier prize, but we won $40, so that's good. Off to a good start, and then it's better than a loss, so I can't ever complain about that. So let's go ahead and jump into today's topics. I think they'll be fun and interesting, and can't wait to show you the lottery wins that I had too. So let's give it a shot. All right, hello and welcome. And as you can see, I always got my integrity hat on, and I actually have my integrity shirt on. But I forgot to mention from last week that we had kind of a phantom phone caller going on throughout the ship, and what that was all about was for some reason our phones throughout the entire ship would just start ringing randomly, and for a number of times, and if you answered it, there was nobody on the other line. It was just like a static or a ringtone or whatever. There was no answer. So phones, for whatever reason, some major glitch in the system that was causing them all to go off randomly, and yeah, it threw everybody off to the point where we all just started leaving our phones off the hook. And in fact, my phone is still off the hook, because over the last couple days I would put the phone back on the hook just to see if the problem's been resolved, but the next couple times when I received phone calls, I was having the same issue. So I'll try again tomorrow, but I don't think the system has been troubleshot yet to fix the issue. But I remember when it first happened, I thought somebody was messing with me. I was like, did I say something wrong to somebody? Are they playing phone call and then hang up just to mess with me? And I thought that's what it was until I got down to the engine room for duty, and the first engineer turning the watch over to me had said that everybody was calling him thinking that the other people who were receiving these phantom phone calls was the engine room trying to reach them. But as it turns out, it's just a glitch in the system. So that's what that was all about. And I call it a phantom phone caller. And it kind of reminds me of when I went ghost hunting with friends in Gettysburg a few summers ago. And I went on a ship called the Midnight Sun all the way over in Alaska. And I remember telling some of the other engineers about my trips to Gettysburg to go ghost hunting during break one time, and a lot of them thought, this ship is now cursed because the ghosts were probably all attached to me. And that's not unheard of in the paranormal industry or paranormal society, community, whatever. They do say that ghosts can attach themselves to people and then haunt them, either for better or for worse, often for worse. And everybody thought, the ship was going to sink because of me then, because of the ghosts that were going to be haunting the ship now. It was just a fun little gag. Nothing crazy ever, bad happened on that ship. But it just reminds me of that maybe this phantom phone caller is a ghost that may be attached to me from one of my trips to Gettysburg. So you never know. But our schedule, our contract with, I think, Maersk, was ending today actually, and we got a new contract. I don't know if it's with MSC or another shipping company, but we're actually going to be departing very soon and heading to North Carolina for at least a day. We actually took bunkers here in Houston, Texas, and as you can expect, when they told me that the bunkering was going to take place in the afternoon when I'm off duty, I was thinking, when I go down for duty at midnight, all the bunkering would be done and I can just do my normal routine. But as it turns out, as soon as I get down there, first engineer walks into main control looking for me and says, "Are you sleepwalking? Come on, we gotta go." And I was like, what do you mean go? Did we finish bunkering? Is it all done? He's like, "No, we're just getting started." And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a wonderful long night." They yeah, they said it was going to show up around 2 p.m., but it didn't show up until about 11 p.m. And they had just got the hose connected, and I needed to go stand by the tanks and do fuel oil soundings. And yeah, it was just a whole all-night ordeal. In fact, I don't think we finished until about 10 a.m. So it was a long evolution. But depending on what ship you're on and how cool or uncool the captain is, when he realizes that you got a long evolution like that and it's going to be going all long hours of the night from like midnight on, he usually treats the crew to some shoreside fast food, and in this case we all got Pizza Hut, which was a nice little treat. And I snuck a whole pie back to my room to have for lunch that day, because the lunch menu was not that good. And as you can imagine, ship food is still hit or miss, most often miss. It's only like a hit maybe 2-3 times at best a week. The other days I kind of have to find my own food, either the food that I bring on board or just the cold dry food in the galley, like cereal that they leave out for me to cover my meals for the week. But yeah, I'm not surprised that bunkering ended up the way it did. In fact, we were supposed to leave tonight at a certain hour. I wouldn't be surprised if it's much later. And I wouldn't even be more surprised that we're still here by the time I go down at midnight, because we were supposed to leave like before I go back on duty. But it reminds me of one ship, and I may have mentioned this before in a previous video, and it's a ship that I hope I never return to, because the people were jerks on there. But we were about to arrive into port, and the chief engineer says when we get ashore, or we get to port side, we're going to be discharging slops, which is our dirty oil, and we're also going to be loading lube oil. And I was like, okay, do we know what times that we're going to be doing these evolutions? And he had said no, but he was sure that they wouldn't be arriving at the same time or happening at the same time, and that I would be having help with one of them, whichever it may be. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I've done them before. It's fairly routine, so okay. But then the next day I come down for duty, and the chief engineer runs up to me and says, "Okay, the slops barge is here and the lube oil trucks are here, so go line everything up and let's get going." And I was like, what? I thought you said they weren't arriving at the same time. I thought you were going to give me help for all this. And he pretty much just brushed me off and ran off to go do his own thing. But I was like, all right, I got to get going. So I'm lining up everything, and then unfortunately he started being the jerk that he was and started barking at me and was like, "Why is this taking so long to line up? Why don't you have all the paperwork ready? Why haven't you met with the ship or the barge and truck personnel to go over communications and procedures and lineups and all that?" And I was like, well, I'm doing this all by myself. And he essentially left all of that on me. The only involvement he had was just stamping his name or his logo on the paperwork when everything was all said and done. I mean, I even had to connect the hose all by myself. I had to get the soundings all by myself. I had to write down all the times of when we connected the hose, started, stopped, disconnected, how much we discharged, how much we loaded. I had to take care of all of that, and I had almost no help at all. I think I might have had just a little bit of help disconnecting the hose, which in my opinion is the easy part. So they wouldn't help me on the hard part for connecting the hose to these services, to the barge and trucks. So yeah, I was running around. That was a very busy day, and and the chief engineer was barking at me the whole time. So it wasn't pleasant. And like I said, I hope I never go back to that ship, because people there, a ship can be falling apart, just barely floating. But if all the crew members are awesome on it, I will stay on that ship. I don't care if a ship is brand new out of the shipyard, everything's working, I'll never have to do maintenance on it for many trips for many years. But if all the people are jerks, I would avoid that ship like the plague. And that's the truth. You need good teamwork, you need good leadership in order to run a ship well, in my opinion. And I've been on quite a few of those ships, but likewise I've also been on some bad ships. So it is what it is. But it is wintertime, and winter at sea is often pretty rough. I remember when I was over on the Midnight Sun in the summer, the weather actually wasn't that bad, and they had said, "Oh, it gets much, much, much worse in the winter. The rocking and rolling is so crazy that you have to literally strap down everything, and in some cases, even yourself when you're sleeping, because you will roll out of bed. You know, the ship will toss you out." I remember it was winter time, and I believe I was on the Integrity, and we were actually all the way over in the Middle East, and I actually liked it over there. The winters there were kind of mild. It wasn't as rough seas, and because the Middle East is often very traditionally extremely hot during the summer, it was actually kind of nice and cool during the winter. So that's probably the only time I would enjoy going to the Middle East is during the winter time, because it's cooler there. But during the summer, it's probably a scorching 130 degrees, and you definitely don't want to be there unless your body is absolutely adjusted to handle that kind of heat. And I know mine isn't. I'm a New Englander, and I love the cold, and the weather changes there all the time. So I have spent time over in the Middle East during the summer, during those hot times, so I know what it's like. But if I had to go back there, it would be during this time. And we're going to be heading to Germany after North Carolina. You know, it's all up in the air as far as time, you know, how many days to get there, when we're expected there, what we're going to be doing there. Probably just be picking up parts, because we do have to overhaul some of our generators. I don't know what city we're going to. I kind of hope it's Bremerhaven, because they have the Siemens Center there, and they have a nice restaurant, bar, and some shopping for American products there, which is always nice. And also on that strip, there are also like other pizza and kebab places, which are actually pretty good. It reminds me a little taste of Italy, actually, because I would get off duty at midnight some nights, and there would only be like one restaurant open out in Italy, and it was a nice kebab restaurant. I went there so many times, I actually got to know the people that were working there, and they would make me a really nice kebab sandwich, and it actually tasted really good. And I went there often. In fact, I think they were open until like 4 a.m., which is crazy. They open at like 12 noon, and they're open right until 4 a.m. the next day. So they get a lot of nightly business, because a lot of other restaurants and places, they close at like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. So anybody that's up late after that will find that kebab place to go and get something to eat, because the bars also stayed open until like 1 or 2 a.m. So people were drinking, they get hungry, and there you go. Now, when I was walking in, you might have noticed the tools that were on my table, and these were tools that I actually wanted to have for my previous trip when I was a third, but for whatever reason, when I came home, we had done some packing at my house, and I put these tools in a box, and for the life of me, I couldn't remember what box it was after we had brought them back to my Connecticut home, and couldn't find them. And I was really panicking, because these are really good tools. So I had to come up with a backup at the time. So, and then as my mom was unpacking and cleaning up all the stuff that we had transported, she found them, and she held on to them for me. And I picked them up and remembered to bring them with me here for this trip. So I have this tool right here. It's a multi-tool by Gerber, and it's like 12 tools in one. Extremely useful. I remember buying this when I was working with Military Sea Lift Command, and I went to the base in Guam from my very first ship, the Frank Cable, and I bought this, and I think I bought it for like $80, and I actually didn't start using it. I actually kept it in the package for a number of years, because I was just lazy. I never got around to opening it. I just bought it, brought it back to my room, and left it there. Yeah, I ended up opening up several ships down the road, and then I just started keeping it in my pocket, and I realized just how useful it was, and I was kind of regretting why I didn't open it and use it sooner. And then when I couldn't find it, I was worried that I might have lost it, and it would have been an extra devastating thing for me, because not only would I be able to find another tool like this, I mean, I probably could, and at a cheaper price, given the modernization of tools during these times. But the fact that I got this from a naval base on my very first ship has that kind of connection with me, a little sentimental value. So I hope I don't lose this, and I'm holding on to it as best as I can and trying to remember where it is at all times. Because even today, I had used it for something, I set it down, I walked away, and I didn't actually come back for about an hour before I picked it up again. And I was worried that maybe it could have fallen off into the bilge somewhere, or somebody could have walked off with it, because it is a really good tool. So yeah, I do need to be a little bit more careful with my tools. And then these are actually smaller versions of what I had from my previous trip. Is this Ford wrench, or Stilson wrench. And to this day, a lot of people still don't know what this wrench is, which is really surprising to me, but it's extremely useful. It can be used for not only nuts and bolts, but also opening valves. And I feel like every engineer should carry one of these when they work on board ships. And then this was a small adjustable crescent that I had. I had a bigger one with me on my last trip, but I like this one because as you adjust the jaw on it, it also tells you both in millimeters and in inches the measurement that you have it at. And it's useful when I have to size up nuts and bolts up to it's shown 36 here on this wrench, if I need to go get a combination wrench for a much bigger or longer job. And they're also pretty useful. And then you might have seen that I had 3 flashlights over here. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I don't know what suckered me into buying these things, but they're absolutely terrible. Unfortunately, they break very easily. I had 3 of them because I thought I'd give it one last shot, and I actually had 4 of them. The first one that I bought actually lasted one entire trip. I was kind of surprised given the quality of these things. It had finally broken down, it wouldn't work anymore, so I threw it out, and I just like, I'll buy another one. And then that one only lasted like maybe 2 months, and it finally broke. And I was like, well, I'll just buy a backup just in case. And the backup actually lasted me the rest of the trip. But then I was like, it looks really nice. It's got a nice black and red color to it, and those are some of my favorite colors. In fact, those are the colors of my sheets on my bed. But I thought I'd give it one last try. The second one that had broke out, I actually left at home. And then I bought 2 more, and thinking that, if one breaks, I'll have the other one as the backup. And I noticed on the package that there's a lifetime warranty on these things. So I was like, well, if all 3 somehow break, then I'm going to submit a claim to get them repaired or to get a full refund, because these flashlights, as sleek a design as they are, they should not be breaking so easily. And I think it's an internal malfunction with these things, something with the wiring or maybe the bulb itself. But after a while, when you turn it on, it just won't turn it on anymore, or the light's starting to flickering. Even with brand new batteries, these things have failed. Now, the third one barely lasted me a month, and I was really disappointed with that. So I opened up the backup, my 4th and final one, and it stops working the same day I took it out of the package. Now, that really burned me. So I contacted Coast, which is the manufacturer of this flashlight, and they said, they're handling it on their end, and they'll figure out what they want to do for me. They say in most cases they'll just send me a replacement, and I won't have to send these broken ones back, which would be nice. But what's the point if the design is absolutely the same? I feel like the one that they're going to send me as a replacement is going to have the same longevity as these other ones, if not worse. I don't know how much worse you can get by having it break the same day you take it out of the package, but this company has not met my expectations for these qualities. And these aren't cheap either. I think they were like $25 each, so get what you pay for. But I would have thought these would last at least one whole trip for me. But enough of my ranting there. Let me show you these lottery pictures. Again, I have so many of them, and I'm surprised that I accumulated so many over the years that I'm going to show some here, and I'll show some in the next video. And then also in the next video, I'll show some different pictures as well. So for this one to get started, you're going to see just how much we play over the years. For whatever reason, I started collecting and holding on to all the losers, and I was cleaning up my room before coming to this ship, and I remember I saw the huge stack of tickets that I had in my drawer, and I decided to take a picture of it because just as like a record or documentation of all the games that I've played. Yeah, in my hand right there is probably several $1,000s worth of tickets that we have unfortunately lost on over the years. And that's not all of them. There's certainly a lot more than that, and but it's all right. I mean, you can't win if you don't play, and as long as you play within your means, then it's fun because you never know if you're going to come across that life-changing prize. We play for fun regularly throughout each week, and we do get wins. We have our losses. That's just the nature of it. And then this next one really surprised me. This was probably the biggest one that I ever had with a win instantly symbol or a money symbol. Because for the longest time, I would get money symbol wins on tickets, but they were never more than like $100 at best. They would usually be $50 or break-even prizes, but this one totally shocked me. This one was $400 for a win. And I have looked online and have seen other people report pictures of lottery tickets with money bag wins that were for $1 million prizes. And I'm like, wow. So I guess you can't really think that whenever you get a money bag symbol that it's going to be a small prize. It could in fact be a very giant top prize. But probably 95% of all of them are like $100 winners or less. But this one was really surprising to me when I saw that. I was like, wow, because I actually was expecting just the $40 prize, but it ended up having an extra zero, which was really nice. And then this next ticket, it's going to be a little difficult to see, but this was such an incredible night for me. I stopped with my dad at one gas station, and we were going to pick up some tickets, and I bought four $30 tickets, one right after the other, all the same game, and they all ended up being winners. I'm like, oh my gosh. I think the odds of winning were like 1 in 4, and we crushed the odds 4 in a row. That's the best number of wins that I've ever gotten in a row on lottery tickets before. Now, I think it was my previous birthday, or maybe the birthday before, my mom had bought me 10 different lottery tickets, games, to play as a birthday gift, and I think I won on 8 of them. All of them were different games of different prize ranges, but I won on 8 of them. And then we went out to get food at a restaurant or do some shopping, and then we bought 3 more, and 2 of them ended up being more winners. So, those were the most wins that I think I've ever had in one day. But these 4 in a row was the most that I've ever had for winners, and one of them was a $500 winner. I don't know if you can see it, but that was I think a $120 gamble, and we got back $690 in wins. The $100 win was a money symbol, and also in the clutch corner, which I thought was pretty cool. And we got all these from a gas station, almost in the middle of nowhere. Like, you wouldn't think that they'd have winners there, but I took a huge gamble and gambled on it, and all 4 of them were winners. So that was just incredible for me. And then this next ticket, as you know, I always scratch the bonuses first, and on this one I actually won on all 4 bonuses, which was unreal. Like, I hadn't even started scratching the bottom portion yet, and I won $120 on this ticket. So I had to take a picture of that and document it. And then this next ticket was really unique in that you could also have a scratch field on the back of the ticket, because most tickets are only one-sided, but this one was both front and back. And it was a bonus, which you almost never win on, but as you see here, I actually won on all 5 areas, and even though it was only $10, it was a win, and I think I lost on the previous side anyway, so it was a save, more or less. And then for this next one, I have these 2 pictures. I mentioned this in my previous video, and I found them on my phone. 2 tickets of the same game, and I won in the same spot and with the same number. Now, granted, I bought these from 2 different locations. The odds of this happening have to be phenomenal. Not only the same game, but the same spot that I went at, and with the same number, which was 29. And it was just so remarkable to me. I remember when I scratched the second one, and this was like weeks later, and I couldn't help but remember, like, didn't I just win in this same spot with this same number? So I went back to my phone to check, and sure enough, there was. The first one was a $500 win, which is why I took a picture of it, because it was such a large amount. And then the second one was unfortunately a $30 win. It would have been absolutely insane if it was another $500 win, and I would have the ticket numbers to prove that they were absolutely different, but they had the same spots and same numbers for wins. But I was just so lucky to get the $500 win, because they could have easily been both $30 wins. And break-even prizes, well, while better than being a loser, they're not as fun as exciting in my opinion. And then I gotta show this one. This one just made my jaw drop the floor when it happened. This is my biggest win yet of a scratch ticket, the claimer. In fact, I think it's our only claimer that we've ever had. Our biggest win, which was a $5,000 winner, which was a 5X for a 1,000. And it was the first scratch, first match, and I wanted to just drop on the floor in total shock when that happened. So if one of our scratch tickets here on the ship turns out to be a very big top prize, I don't even know how I would react. I'd probably just be stunned. But so that's all that that I have for this week. Next week is Olivia's birthday. We'll have 2 scratch tickets, and we'll probably be out at sea at that time, probably crossing the Atlantic towards Germany, but I will try and get it uploaded in a timely manner, and hopefully we can win some more prizes. So thank you for joining me tonight, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.